it's my privilege to invite Gabane sir, Mr. Shri Lalit Gabane sir. He is a C-suite executive with over 31 years of experience with leading corporates like Diageo India, ITC Limited, Hindustan Aeronautics in various leadership roles. Sir has spearheaded safety, health, and environment sustainability functions in the FMCG manufacturing, Alco Bev industry, paper mills, captive power plant, high-rise buildings and five-star hotels, large construction sites. Sir is currently Chief Executive Officer of National Safety Council of India, a leading national level organization in safety. Thank you so much, sir. It's a privilege to have you in this webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nishan, and it's even my privilege uh, to speak in this seminar. Subject which is not generally talked. The safety in hospitals is not generally talked about in at least in our country. And I have been hearing my good old friends, Mr. Pradeep Dani and Subbarao, about passive fire protection and active fire protection. So it's a very interesting and important subject, the hospital safety. Now, if you look at recently, I mean in last one decade, there were at least 33 major fires in the hospitals, in the large hospitals meaning the hospitals having above 100 beds. And those fires include AMRI hospital, where about 93 or 94 people died, and the fire started because of the electrical short circuit. The IMS Bhubaneswar hospital, Bhubaneswar, where 22 people died. Then recently, the ESI hospital and the government hospital in Bandara in the state of Maharashtra, where the fire took place and the newborn babies and children died. So what does it show? Hospitals are supposed to take care of life safety of people. Now, yes, I know hospitals activity or the business is medical, is taking care of the people having any medical issues. But hospital itself should not be a cause of concern to its stakeholders, to its patients or the visitors or the doctors and the employees. So there are various safety issues in the hospital. What are those issues like? One is definitely moving the patients, because patients are disabled. They're lifting them, supporting them and moving them. Moving the equipment such as wheelchairs and trolleys. Then stress is also a big issue because the doctors, nurses and other medical support staff, they have been and they work for very long hours, and especially if you see in last 1 year in this corona pandemic, while treating the COVID patients, it was the big task for the medical staff and those corona warriors. Slip, trip, falls, it's one of the big problems in the hospitals. And last but not the least, definitely very important, is fires and explosion. So some organization has conducted a study, and their study revealed that the most common cause of fire was electrical short circuit. They have studied those 33 accidents, major fire accidents, which happened in last one decade. 72% fires originated from air conditioners. I was listening to the speaker who was talking about the air conditioning system in the hospital, about what filters we should use and all. Yes, the filters have to play a very important role in delivering a fresh uncontaminated air. But at the same time, that equipment should not be a cause of concern as far as the fire and life safety is concerned. And Mr. Subbarao just mentioned in his presentation that in most cases, the firefighting equipment were not found to be operational. Among those 33 major hospitals fires, in 19 incidents, the firefighting equipment were found to be operational, and in rest of the rest of the incidents, the firefighting equipment were not in working condition. And then he mentioned that somewhere they took 20 minutes to operate the extinguisher. Yes, the extinguisher can work only for a few minutes or say seconds, not more than 1 or 2 minutes. So that 20 minutes could include the time they were struggling to operate the extinguisher. Means they were not very well trained, or the extinguishers were not adequate, or were not near the fire. I mean, the travel distance was large, and 73% incidents occurred between 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. So these are some of the the good findings which actually make us to think how to mitigate that risk and make the hospital a safe hospital. Hospital is supposed to be safe, but what does that safe hospital means? There is an organization, you are all from the medical field, you may be knowing the organization called Pan American Health Organization and the World Health Organization. Both have defined the safe hospital as the one that will not collapse in disaster and killing patients and staff. So if there is a major disaster, the hospital itself should not collapse. Its services should not collapse, killing the patients. It must be able to continue function and provide its services as a critical community facility when it is most needed, and it's organized with contingency plan in place and health workforce trained to keep. That is how that 20 minutes time for operating extinguisher comes in picture, and it must have an operational network. So how do we make our hospitals safe? What needs to be done? I think some of you are engineers also working in for the hospital engineering functions. Some of you maybe doctors. So whether it is a hospital or a office building or a factory building, safety needs to be planned at the blueprint stage of the facility, blueprint stage of that the building. Now, what is that needs to be done? It's not that once you construct the hospital and start the getting in the admitting the patients and treatment and then think of safety. That's not the right approach. The right approach is first plan for your what is required to prevent the fire. How the fire will not take place in the hospital, first of all. Second thing is, if there is a fire, if at all there is a fire happens, then how its impact will be minimum. How you will manage the people, how you will manage the patients, how you will manage the property, because you have the expensive treatment equipment, how you will safeguard them, and how the hospital operations will remain continuous, because the hospital is there. It's a emergency organization which is required, which is supposed to treat the patient on 24/7, 365 days. You cannot afford to have closure of a hospital. So these arrangements need to be planned at the design stage. So some of them are like fire compartmentation. Mr. Pradeep Dani spoke about it. Fire exiting arrangement and evacuation arrangement to be planned by the architects or by the designers of the hospital. Once that is implemented, the hospital management must engage expert organizations or experts to carry out the regular audit of the hospital to ensure that the safety features what is provided in the hospital are in working condition, and hospital team, hospital management is prepared to deal with any emergencies, because the first 3 minutes are very, very important in case of fire in any building. It could be hospital, it could be hotel, office, factory, or whatever. So you must have a robust safety management system in place, which mandatorily includes the regular audit of the property of the hospital. Your teams, irrespective of their ranks and designation and function, what they do, they must be trained in emergency. They must be trained in emergency procedures. They must understand what are those various codes. You have the various codes: blue code, yellow code, red codes for emergency. So what those codes mean, and what is their responsibility? What are they supposed to do? So this red code is generally, or code red is generally used to define that that announce that there is a fire in the hospital, and then once that code is announced, then if I am a doctor, or if I am a nurse, or if I am a maintenance engineer in the large hospital, what is my responsibility? What am I supposed to do? How the patients are supposed to be evacuated, where they are supposed to be treated, where the ICU, if there is a operation going on in the operation theater, what needs to be done. So those kind of trainings must be given regularly to the entire staff of the hospital, and then only that hospital becomes a safe hospital. As Subbarao just spoke, that generally the companies will not advertise their services or facilities based on their safety performance. Nobody would say that my hospital is the safest hospital. It is supposed to be the safest hospital. The car we drive is supposed to be the safest car, and there should not be any further need of reinforcing that yes, my product is safe and organic. Our services which a common person is supposed to use is supposed to be safe. Therefore, the hospital where a person comes, his family come along with, they are already stressed. Okay, and if we give a confidence to them that yes, this hospital has taken care of this safety of the people, definitely half the battle will be won. So evacuation planning, mock drill in hospitals in case of code red are very, very important. They must be planned regularly and conducted regularly. And you must also, all hospitals must see that you also go for some kind of certifications, third-party audits, and there are organizations available. We at National Safety Council also, we carry out certifications, we carry out audits. But unfortunately, in our country, what is happening? Till recently, we had forgotten about Amri Hospital. We had forgotten about the ESI Hospital. And recently, there was a fire in Bandara Hospital. Then many hospitals woke up, and there is a series of inquiries for hospital audits and training. And these series of inquiries will continue for some time, and then again it will die on its own till there is another fire in any other hospital. That should not happen. I think we must wake up. We must proactively take steps that yes, hospitals where we are working, where our employees are there, or our patients or customers are there, it must be a safe place to stay, a safe place to get treated. With these words, I wish all the best to this conference, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. in your conversations, you have given us a lot of insights and focus points on which we should plan our evacuations in case of code red and train our staff. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.